Welcome back to the Crown Plaza. So the champion Kevin Wright is through to the semi-final, but only just. But who's he going to meet in the semi-final? Let me introduce you to our next set of quarter-finalists. First off, from Cardiff in Wales, 4 times Welsh champion Rob McKenna. And from Glasgow in Scotland, the only amateur left in the tournament, Charlie Shaw. Right, let's join our commentator for this match, Jim White.
Thank you, Simon. And I can tell you, if this semi-final winner here comes through as Kevin Wright did in the previous quarter-final match.
First frame, Charlie to break.
What a feast of pool that we're in for. Absolutely breathtaking. Scotland versus Wales here. Charlie Shaw breaking off.
Red and yellow potted.
An open table, so the advantage to the Scot. A little bit of an outsider reaching the quarterfinals here of the Embassy World Pool Championships. Not much known about Charlie.
Foul.
Now failed to get the rest out of the way in time. Foul committed. And 2 visits to his opponent, Rob McKenna from Wales. Joining me in the commentary box for the second quarterfinal, himself. Through to the quarterfinals here. Member of the Irish squad, Greg Farron. And Greg, what can you tell me about these 2 combatants here?
Well, Jim, Rob McKenna hails from Wales, as we've seen from the writing on the screen there, and Charlie, as you said earlier, a little bit of an unknown player. I know that he's played a lot of snooker in his time and has achieved an ambition that not many amateurs in the game achieve, and he's had a 147 at snooker, so no mean potter of a ball. Maybe needs to practice on his rest a little bit though, Jim.
Terrific red, that one. Certainly been made to pay for that initial foul. First frame over in a flurry. Rob McKenna from Wales notching up the first one, leading Charlie Shaw from Scotland by 1 frame to 0. Rob McKenna breaking off, having taken the first frame in lightning fashion.
Open table.
2 minutes, in fact, the duration of that opener.
Yes, Jim. I just noticed in there about Rob McKenna as he's sat down. I think he's using a different cue to break with, a style that I think a lot of the American players use. Didn't seem to work that time though.
Yellows to play.
That's very much the same as Kevin Wright. I wonder if the same result will hold true. I guess the more cues you bring out, the better your chances.
Well, I don't know about that, Jim. I hope not. I only use one myself. But back to this particular quarter-final. And Rob again. Looking good on the yellow balls. Maybe straight on this yellow.
He certainly doesn't waste a lot of time out there. And in fact, he just recently lost a speed pool crown that he held for a short period.
Yes, that's right, Jim. Rob held it, I think, for approximately 3 years, taking it off the Flying Scotsman Ross McInnes. And in turn, he himself has had his world record beaten by Dave Pearson, who hails from the northeast of England. Rob getting back to the table on yellow balls here, surprisingly. But not being able to pot that yellow, so just setting it up, ready for the next time. Charlie needs a little bit of inspiration here, I think, to try and force his way into this match. Because Rob's the sort of player that if he gets his nose too far in front, he's unassailable.
Foul, 2 visits.
Well, he couldn't have wanted that in off. Allowed 2 visits to Rob. The problem facing him right now is the yellow that's tied up nearest the red on the right-hand side as we see it, and looks as though he's very quick going to alleviate that problem. Mind you,
Second
that
visit.
certainly could have worked out better.
Yes, Jim. Wanted to avoid the double kiss there, but obviously didn't, and so now going for a long double down the top right corner pocket, and as you see, missing that, and a fine opportunity now for Charlie to get a score onto the board. Just a little bit of tension in his cue arm there, I feel, a bit tentative on that shot. But now back into prime position. The red on the left-hand side of the black, I think, will go into the bottom right-hand pocket and also into the bottom left by the way that he's played that positional shot. Yeah, starting to loosen up his cue arm now, I think, Charlie, and I think we're in for a cracking match here now if both these players can start producing the form that they're capable of.
In goes the black, and with it, Charlie Shaw takes his first frame in this best of 13 quarterfinal. Tying things up here with Rob McKenna, 1 frame apiece.
Third frame, Charlie to break, 1 frame all.
Nothing found its way to the pocket. And Charlie appears to use a little bit of a different pattern in breaking the balls. Greg, he attacks them from the side. I've noticed most of the players seem to favor a dead-on fashion.
That's right, Jim. I think, again, the Americans tend to
Red's in play
it from the side of the table, but they still hit centre ball, and I think Charlie still hits centre ball. But the break's a very important shot, and if you can manage to hit absolutely millimetre dead centre of the front ball, the balls will spread that much further and travel that much longer, and obviously then more chance of going into a pocket. So it's all important, and it is so critical. We're talking about a millimetre of the centre of the first ball of the rack. Good picture of Rob's bridge hand there, cueing over the red. Just tending to snatch a little bit at that one, I think. problem Charlie Shaw has on the left-hand side of the table is that yellow ball glued to the side rail. He's got quite a few options with the other yellows to try and nudge it out though. I'm sure he'll be trying to do that as soon as possible. Doesn't look to have an angle on any of those yellows at present. And the way Rob McKenna's red balls are situated, he's probably only going to have one shot at it. Does he think it'll go past the red down the rail? Well, that decision obviously been made for us by his choice in yellow balls there.
Foul, 2 visits.
Reckless abandon there. Bit of a loose shot, and unfortunate to knock Rob McKenna's red ball in. But that's pull. Nice feeling when you're early in a match, Jim, to have a couple of visits to the table with some easy shots just to get your Q arm going, and builds a little bit of inner belief and self-confidence for the later stages of a match. I'm sure you're fully aware of that yourself in the snooker world.
Certainly am, Greg, and Rob McKenna re-establishing the lead here, albeit just by 1 frame. Still early days, but it's Rob McKenna from Wales leading Charlie Shaw from Scotland by 2 frames to 1. Rob McKenna benefiting from a couple misjudgments from his opponent.
Red and yellow potted.
We alluded earlier to the fact that breaking can be an advantage, but very important to get a ball in. That leaves an open table. That's when that advantage can be put to best use. Always gives the player at the table the chance to take the initiative.
Yes, and as we see, Jim, Rob McKenna straight into his potting stride again. May have a problem with the yellow ball nearest to the black ball. Not quite sure if it goes past the black into the top right-hand pocket. If it does, this should be a pretty straightforward finish. If it doesn't, then he's going to have to develop it or get position on it with the cue ball in some way or other. From the way he's potting the other yellow balls though, Jim, I think it'll go past the black. All will be revealed in the next 10 seconds or so. As the French would say, voila. Very loose shot from Rob there. I'm sure that the yellow ball went past without hitting the black.
Total snooker.
Now virtually forced into attempting the black off the side cushion. Everything on this shot.
Foul, 2 visits.
Yes, and that's just carelessness, I think, from Rob McKenna there. I don't think at this stage of the match it was down to nerves. He's had his cue arm on the table sufficiently enough to get rid of any pre-match nerves, and it's not close enough to the end of the match to cause too much tension. So I think it was just exactly the same as that shot there, Jim. Just lackadaisical, I think. Not taking enough care on reasonably easy shots. Thinking more of the position. And then missing the pot.
Yes, but there Charlie displaying the advantages to having a number of balls still on the table when your opponent only has one. The referee awarding a total snooker.
Foul, 2 visits.
That's really all Rob could do. Try and cover the black and make life as awkward as possible for his opponent.
That's right, Jim. I'm not sure if he's achieved that, though. He's the 2 balls either side of the black, I think, will plant into the pocket nearest the black.
Second visit.
Charlie hedging his bets here, though, trying to get another 2 visits. The thing what will be foremost in Rob's mind here is that he doesn't leave an easy pot if he gives a foul shot away.
Foul,
so as you can see, not an easy pot on. There is an actual pot on into the top right-hand pocket with this red ball there. Charlie going for it and getting it. Again, a bit of a loose shot from Rob there. Tried to roll up to the red and leave it close enough not to leave it potable. Now Charlie looking good. Must just take care on these plant shots, though. They can go drastically wrong if you don't hit them exactly how they are lined up. Played a very clever shot there. Thinking of position on the opposite red across the table while playing the plant at the same time. Still having 2 visits, Charlie Shaw. Played it well, Jim.
Scott fights back. All square now. Charlie Shaw 2, Rob McKenna 2. Welcome back to the Crown Plaza Hotel.
6th frame, Rob to break, leading 3 frames to 2.
That red flew into the corner pocket with only 1 frame between
Red
these
ball
2.
potted.
I wonder if we're going to see us yet another wire finish.
Red's in play.
As you said, Greg, the play hasn't been the best that these 2 are capable of. But sometimes, if it remains close, it certainly can still be very gripping.
Yes, Jim. Let's hope we're in for some gripping stuff here. Rob, again, as with reference to his speed pull capabilities, fairly quick round the table, taking this red ball over the corner pocket. Bit close to this red, but should negotiate it well enough. Red ball into the bottom right corner pocket. Coming round off 2 cushions, just overrunning it fractionally. But I would expect him to get this.
Tremendous finish right from the break. That's just the sort of stuff that Rob McKenna's been looking for. For the first time in this match, he finds himself 2 frames clear, now leading Charlie Shaw by 4 frames to 2. Scotland's Charlie Shaw breaking off here in the 7th frame.
Open table.
Open table for his opponent, Rob McKenna, and we just finished seeing Rob play his best frame of this quarterfinal match thus far. 1 minute and 35 seconds in duration, a break and clearance.
Yes, and with Charlie not potting anything off the break there, Jim. Rob McKenna looking immediately for a finish.
Remaining.
Just trying to decide which set of balls are the easier of the two. Looks like he's chosen reds.
Reds in play.
Possible red on into the centre pocket here, but he's going away from the rest of the red balls, so yes, deciding on. And that's a tremendous shot from Rob McKenna, Jim.
Very aggressive by nature, taking the bull by the horns here.
Yeah, it's just going to come round off two cushions, I think, here, Jim. Out for the red, and he's played it to inch perfection. I think Charlie Shaw better hold on to his coattails, Jim, if he's in this mood.
Well, certainly what appeared to be a very awkward position. Rob McKenna has so quickly developed into one of some merit. And what a time to find some form. Some top-class pool there from the Welshman. Rob McKenna now 3 frames clear, 5 frames to 2, and just 2 more required for a place in the semifinals. And 3 of the Scottish team members trying to inspire their countryman, Charlie Shaw.
Okay, 8th frame.
He's going to need all the help he can get.
5 frames to 2. Red potted.
The cue ball going precariously close to the top right-hand pocket there. As you can see from our camera shot.
Yellow's nominated.
Rob nominating yellows.
Open table.
And if Charlie's to do anything here, Jim, these are the sort of opportunities he's got to take hold of and really develop into frame-winning positions.
Still an open table for Charlie. Even though Rob putted one on the break, the fact that he did not knock in that yellow in the attempt.
Reds
Charlie electing the reds. Going to take some good pool here if he's going to get out at this visit.
Yeah, it's just looking at dropping the red into the centre right pocket. Not an easy shot, but executed well. Just having a look to see if he can get that red ball, deciding against it, so going for the red nearest to the cue ball in the bottom left-hand pocket. Playing it very well. Just screwing up the table here, around the back of the red, and just overhit it, and he's nudged the red very close to the yellow ball. So now can't quite see if the red ball goes into the top left-hand pocket off this one. And again, over-hitting the shot, Jim. I think a little bit of tension coming into the arm, as so often happens.
Now it looks as though that in attempting the red, the yellow may be knocked into the middle pocket. Does that create a foul, Greg?
Yes, if he knocks the yellow ball into the centre pocket, it'll be a foul. And what's happened
Foul,
here, Jim?
2 visits.
He's knocked the yellow in and fluked the red, unfortunately.
Almost playing Santa Claus. Virtually gift wrap this frame. Put it on a silver platter for Rob McKenna.
Yes, and the way Charlie's playing, I think, unfortunately for him, he's going to have to produce a major miracle to come back into this match. He just doesn't seem to be cueing fluently at all. And when your opponent is also cueing so fluently as Rob McKenna seems to be at the moment, then
Second visit.
the writing's on the wall, I think.
Short work made of this one. Just the black required for a 6-2 lead. And it goes. And Rob McKenna, by virtue of that foul from Charlie Shaw, seeing himself just one frame away from a date with Kevin Wright in the Embassy World Pool Championship semifinals. It's really up to this man, Charlie Shaw, to stop the rot. He's lost the last 4 frames on the spin. And what kind of a reply can he find?
Open table.
The cue ball whizzing around the table there, Jim, hitting the middle jaw pocket. And leaving what looks like
Yellow's in play.
another good finishing opportunity for Rob McKenna. Screwing nicely between the reds there, leaving a straight yellow into the top left pocket.
Red's in play.
Which he proceeds to miss. Surprisingly, considering the way he's been playing the last few frames, Jim. Again, now, if Charlie's going to work his way back into this game, he's got to take opportunities like this.
Still does appear to have one very awkwardly placed red on the left-hand side of the table as we see it, Greg, and certainly that's got to be the ball that he's got to be concerned with.
Yes. Got an angle on this top red of these two to maybe get it out, but it doesn't look as though he's attempting it on this visit. And just overhitting his position on that one. So now, although he's at the table, he's put himself in a difficult situation, looking to just screw back a couple of inches, leave an angle on this right-hand red into the top right-hand pocket, and come across the table behind the red. And he's missed it. Doesn't even matter about getting on the other red when you're missing the pots like that, Jim.
Yeah, some very noticeable the movement in the cue arm there. Definite sign of tension, and it's a very big event for him. Big occasion in his career. It certainly looks as though Rob McKenna feeling more comfortable right from the outset.
Just has the problem with the yellow closest to the red and the black. Negotiating that by, looks like he can play the plant on the yellows here and nudge the red out of the way of the black at the same time. And played it very well indeed, Jim.
This looks like the end. Rob McKenna, the Flying Welshman. In goes the black. And with it, a semi-final berth for Rob McKenna. Been a terrific performance. Hats off to Charlie Shaw. And now Simon Reed will have a word with our winner.
Rob, congratulations. That was mighty impressive.
Thank you very much.
You don't seem to be phased at all. A lot of players, first time in this stage of the World Pool Championships, would be a little unnerved, but it doesn't seem to affect you at all.
I've played in quite a few televised tournaments before, so I think that stood me in good stead, I think.
You played as well as this all week?
I haven't been missing many, determined to win it.
Right. I mean, the way that things are going now, a lot of people didn't consider you for these championships to actually win the title, but there's a lot of a buzz going now, I don't know if you're aware of it, that you might actually win it.
The ones who didn't consider me, I think the ones who are in the graveyard.
Well, one bloke who's not in the graveyard exactly is Kevin Wright. You take him on next time. Have you got a record against him?
No, we've never played actually, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay. I know he's going to be tough opposition and quietly confident, I think.
Good. Well done so far. It's been mighty impressive.
Thank you.
And we move on to our next programme, which is next Friday. You can see the other two quarterfinals then. From all of us here at the Crown Plaza in Manchester, for now, goodbye.